Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to talk about all things preparing for retirement with the great Matt Maresch. He's a very successful financial planner. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I think millions of Americans spend more time thinking about what they're going to have for dinner tonight than they do their own retirement. And unfortunately, many get to that retirement age and they go to see a financial advisor who says, you can't retire. You don't have enough money. Matt Maresch knows that very well. He's a very successful financial planner. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. We have a
Absolutely.
beautiful studio you have here.
I'm blessed.
This is an amazing platform.
Thank you. I'm truly blessed. Well, let's start with like 101. So Social Security. Everybody wonders, when should I start taking Social Security?
Yeah, that's probably the number one question that I get. I host Social Security seminars all over the Metroplex. We do 50 minutes where we're raging about Social Security questions, pure education, noodling around all the different questions. And the number one question always comes up, when should I take Social Security? Well, each situation is personalized to the individual, and each beneficiary needs to go through and look at their own individual situation. It begins really starting backwards. It may sound weird, but we want to start with what your expenses are going to be in retirement. And then from there, we're going to build on that. We're going to look at your income. We're going to look at your longevity, your health care. All of those play a very important role in making that decision.
Okay, let's talk about investments because I think it's a mystery to a lot of people. They don't know whether to do stocks, bonds, invest in gold, collectibles. So, what's your general investment advice?
Yeah, when it comes to investments, that's it's going to start with your risk profile. There's no one solution that fits anybody. The worst place that you can get advice on investments is from YouTube channels, generally speaking. You could look at, for example, a balanced portfolio with one person where they're in love with it. Where if you go to somebody else and they have a different risk profile, that won't suit them at all. So a lot of it has to do with what is your personal tolerance when it comes to risk management within your portfolio. And I would say that the number one thing that people should think about when they're doing their asset allocation is not focus on one specific solution, but on an array of different solutions within their portfolio. That way it's balanced, and that way you can handle the ups and downs of the market.
Sure. And you talk about a risk tolerance. A person in their 20s probably has a different risk tolerance than a person in their early 60s.
Yes, absolutely. So a great example would be a success story of mine would be we are meeting with a couple, husband and wife. They were 64 and 63. They want to retire in 3 years. And when we were going through their portfolio, they actually met an advisor that said that they couldn't retire. So my buddy brought me in, we started looking at the plan, and I said, wait a second, this makes no sense, right? The way that your allocation is set up, you should be able to retire. In fact, you have a cash balance pension plan that you plan to annuitize in 3 years. But if we go out to the open market right now and buy it in advance, that will save you $100,000. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you buy it today for, call it 175. And in 3 years, that cash balance plan you put back into your portfolio, and that you're going to net out $100,000.
We're going to pull up your website, and you have a boutique wealth management company. There are all these big companies that everybody knows their name. Is there something unique about working with somebody like you, a smaller, boutique firm?
Yeah, my firm is basically a boutique firm. The the value that people find in coming to my firm is the open architecture of the platform. And what I mean by that is I'm non-captive. So, based upon your individual situation, I can go out to many of my business partners all across the US and find you the right solution. I'm not tied to one carrier, to one product solution. We find what's best for you.
Okay, tell me why you got into this.
I love helping people. And at the end of the day, these are some of the most important decisions that you'll ever make in your life. They have long lasting effects, not only what you decide today, but 10, 20, 30 years from now, and possibly even the next generation. So I wake up every day feeling blessed because I get to help people.
Mm. So, what does it look like when somebody is approaching you for the first time? Do you have an exploratory meeting first so you can see if they're a good candidate for your firm?
Yeah, so what we do is we have a very structured process where we go through a discovery meeting and we go through a very robust fact finder. And then after that, we're going to meet about 7 to 10 days later. And then we're going to pencil whip everything together because during the initial meeting, there's going to be questions that you're just not probably going to be prepared to answer. You're going to need time to go back and research. Then we come back, we fill out the plan, and then we begin going through the various income models and portfolio strategies based upon your unique situation.
Okay, what does a great client look like for you?
A great client that for me is somebody who wants help. At the end of the day, my job is to serve the community, to be a steward, and to help people that want help. So that's my ideal client.
Outstanding. We have about 2 minutes left. So, Matt, look into that camera on the left and talk to the viewer who might need to give you a call.
Yeah, I would say if you have questions about Social Security retirement, take a moment and if it's not me, reach out to a professional to schedule time to make sure that you are going through and asking all the right questions that's dependent on your situation. For example, do you have a will in place? Do you have a trust? What's your estate plan? If you died tomorrow, what would happen to the kids? Right? If say that you're in your retirement years and your husband or wife passes away, what does that look like moving forward? And then we can talk about the next generation, generation one, generation two, generation three. Really, it all starts with the plan and really getting down and being brilliant on the basics, I would say.
Outstanding. Matt, you've been a great guest. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You bet. We're going to end with his website. We'll put it on the screen, abbwm.com.
Yes, sir.
The great Matt Maresch. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.